Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome to Astroneer. This is a game you have seen me feature in live streams over on Twitch for, a year and a half now. Because this game has been in early access for a very long time, a very successful early access campaign, no less. And now it's here. It not only is the game out, but it's already had its first update to address some bug issues, and they're looking at getting some more fixed very quick. But if you're new to Astroneer, let me introduce you. As you can see, we've just launched from a space station onto a planet. This is our little shelter, base building item. It provides us with a little bit of power and a little bit of oxygen. You can see there's no UI, there's no HUD, there's no map. It is just you and the planet, but everything you need to know is on the screen. For example, I just separated from the base via my tether, and you can now see the oxygen meter there at the top of my pack going down. And if I reconnect, it refills, you can hear it. And so yeah, initially at the very beginning of the game, I'm very limited on how far I can go. However, this is a beautiful landing location. I see some compound, those big bubbly things just behind me. That will help me make tethers. The thing that you see, there we go, disappearing and reappearing. I can make more of those and stretch them out so that I can journey. We can eventually make vehicles. And then, and I have experimental clouds turned on. If you're wondering why my game looks different than some of the others you may have seen, that's why. If we look up to the sky, normally there's planets buzzing about. Of course, there's one off in the distance, behind a cloud. There's another one just setting. You can go to those. Those aren't just decorations. Well, that's probably our sun. They are not just decorations. They are actual places you can go explore. They may have resources that my planet does not have. So to be able to truly explore the whole solar system, you do need to visit all of the planets. Going to just initialize our cargo drop, and then should you manage to put things down in a way that you find displeasing, well, then you can just reinitialize the cargo drop. This goes, not there. Does it really go on the other side where I just was? Yes, it does. Perfect. You, come on, go. There we go. I don't know what I just did wrong. Sometimes I forget how to work the controls, but you can pick things up, carry them. That oxygenator will now help supply oxygen through everything. The tethers would not have worked, I don't believe, otherwise. This is a printer. We're going to put it there. It does not print your reports for school. It prints objects, a 3D printer. But it requires materials to work. I don't have to carry that like that. I can carry it like this. Now it's on my backpack where I didn't want it to go. Let's put it down. And I'm going to expand it out before I start trying to place it here. It'll be easier to see where I want it to go. So these platforms. Everything requires power. Everything requires power in this game. So how do we get power? Well, as you can see, the base is generating a bit of it for us right now. But only a bit. The printer will need power, so we pull this cable here. And there we go. Sometimes the controls are a little wonky. There we go. That is now plugged in. You can see oxygen represented by the little white line and power represented by the yellow line. So now I can just pop this right up on top of the platform, and then if I want to see what I can print, you can see I have a few things I can do, but they all require materials. Also, on my backpack, I have a little printer down at the bottom. You can see I have oxygens there as well, but options there as well, but I don't have any materials. But as I said, right over here, if we're quick, we're off the tether, but we can grab just real quick. Oh, this is a beautiful field of compound. Just get enough. There we go. Nope, that was not a compound that we got. We're getting a lot of organic, not a lot of compound. Need to get one whole bundle of compound, but we need to be quick. Come on, let me have it. Let's go over here. Nope. Oh. So close, but I need to go back for oxygen real quick. You can run, just press down on the left stick. I don't know what any of the keyboard commands are, because I play with a controller. Because this game is optimized for a controller, because it is available not only on Windows PC, through the Windows Store and Steam, but it also is available on Xbox One. I don't believe it's on PlayStation. It almost looks like I've got a whole bundle of compound on the back of my gun there. Ooh. Hello. I definitely have it now. Here's a little bit of a power source. I'll have that. By the way, if you're wondering how I picked things up so quickly, if you play Astroneer, you just... Oh, crap, don't go in that hole. You just click them to pick them up, select them, and then immediately hit X on your controller, and it will jump right back to where it needs to go. I believe, though, that was one of the consumable batteries. Yeah, that is just a power storage item. You can store power in it temporarily, so I don't want to connect that. What I do want to connect, however, is yes, I do want a small generator, but before I do that, I want tether bundles. And now I will, let's see here. That requires resin, which I haven't seen yet. Let's go ahead and make the small generators since we have the extra bit of compound. So this series is going to be just exploring. 10 videos, maybe? Maybe, not even that many. Just trying to get off the planet and explore. I'm not going to spend the time exploring each planet as in-depth as I do in the live streams. I don't think that's necessary. I'm going to take this little generator right here, put it right here, and very good. Oh, there's resin right here. I said I needed resin, and I have resin. That's the nice thing about the game. When you first start out, you tend to start in an area that has most of what you need to get going. It's not a brutal survival game. There's no food, no water to worry about. At this point, no animals that I'm aware of. I could be wrong about that. There are deadly plants that can appear that will try to gash you to death. But they're easy to spot. Like this guy, he's harmless. That's not one of them, but there are some in caves and up in mountains that will try to get you. Is there really all the resin that was right here? A lot of times if you dig down, yep, there we go, perfect. A lot of times if you dig down, you will find more of a resource. This does not appear to be there we go, the massive deposit that I was hoping for. That's alright. As long as I can get a little bit more here, because I've got a couple things that I would like to make. I've been watching a lot of other people play this game recently, just to see what their strategy is, and there are some things that I think they do wrong that I'm going to try to do right. Though if you ask my friends, I make bases wrong. Oh my gosh, we have 2 caves right here, or is this just the same cave system? I believe that's just the same cave system. We will certainly be coming back to explore that very soon. Well, I still don't have a complete full resin sample. Is there more? You know what? I have tethers. I don't know why I am being so careful to stay on my oxygen. And there's a lovely little thing. If you watch as you are running, as your tether runs out, if you drop another one, that is the exact distance it needs to go, because that's just how brilliant this game is. The tethers reach just as they expire, if that makes any sense whatsoever. That could be the start of a cave, or it could just be an indentation on the ground. Really am requiring some resin. That is an actual cave down there. Don't want to go in the caves just yet. Want to make sure I have more tethers. And I also want to get myself and drill. Because one of the cool things that they've done that was not in the beta of the game is different surfaces can now are now more difficult to mine. Well, this is a very windy planet. So this is your little extractor gun. It vacuums things up, and there we go. We just got a little bit of organic. And this is all just dirt, and so it's real easy to just kind of vacuum it up. But if we were to go up, say, There was a mountain. That mountain there, which has some cool things sticking up out of it, including, I spy some resin. We would be able to... we would find that when we hit the rock, that it took much longer to actually get through. I see some compound. I'm going to go off tether for just a moment. Grab this compound. Oh, hello, Buggy. You look like you might have a working seat for me. There we go. A little more compound, a little more compound, a little more compound, just so I can make some tethers. Retether myself, and then we will go up the mountain. Or up the side of the hill. I don't think I have to go all the way up the mountain to go get that resin that we are needing so desperately. There we go. Oh, and it has such a good soundtrack, this game. Like, the sense of discovery that goes along with the soundtrack is just really cool. I don't know how loud it will come through in the video, but it is just perfect. It just works perfect. I'll go ahead and make another bundle of those. Done. I now have 2 more sets of tethers. So where was that resin? It was this direction, yeah? Yes, there it is. Right up the side of the hill with something floating in the air above it. The game has just been released, so there will be issues from time to time, including a floating deadly plant. How do I deal with a floating deadly plant? There we go. We are now digging in rock, and you can see how much longer that is taking. So this resin is gonna take a while to extract. I'm really worried about that deadly plant floating in the air. Here's some deadly plants, and you'll see what I mean by them giving off gas. I'm going to get to a safe distance. Whoops. As I fall down the hill. There we go. If I had been closer, that would have killed me to death. Not just killed me to death. But what that did give off, if I remember how to put it away in my backpack, are these little seeds and things. And you can see I can scan them. That gave me research. We will talk about research in just a minute. That, however, is just a seed of one of those plants. I can plant it, let it grow, and then have another bit of research later. And possibly even a larger research item. We will go deal with research in just a moment. I needed the resin to make that a possibility. Wow, this is going really slow, but I want to collect just a bit more resin here. Thanks, game. I was really hoping to have a nice, easy start, and you put the resin on a freaking mountain. Let's just chop this down, carve through that. Once we get a drill, this stuff will go away just as easy as the dirt does. And then even harder surfaces, there are even better drills. And I just spotted something beautiful. Oh, please tell me that's working. Oh, a functional solar panel. You find scrap. These things, you can see they're all debris. They can all be taken back, not the big piece, but the little pieces that are laying about. Eventually you can get a shredder and shred these things down. We don't need any of those materials right away, so I'm not going to do that just now. I am, however, going to grab this big guy because he's a research item. And once we have power on our base, which we will soon have, because I just found a solar panel laying about in the middle of the mountain. Whoop. And yes, you can drop things. As you just saw, I tripped and he dropped his research item. So you can't run as fast when you're carrying these big research items. That's all right. We'll get back to the base here. And we're back. So we need to get over to the printer. By the way, yes, this will be a lightly edited series. Very lightly, though sometimes may require a bit more editing than others. But I think it'll be for the best. That requires 3 compound, which I don't have. I don't know why I went a 3 like that, but whatever. So I need to go get some more compound, but that's fine. We know right where that is. Research chamber. I don't need the large printer. I do need that, so I need 2 resin and compound. Well, that resin is proving to be a problem. Where was that bit of resin? It was right here. Yes, right next to where you're standing, Brandon. Pay attention. I wonder if there might be more if I just keep digging for a moment. Sometimes you get very lucky And it turns out that there is some more buried just under the surface of the ground. Other times, not so much. And I'm thinking this is going to be a not so much time. But I could look about in a few other directions, and I'm going to do that right quick. Well, I haven't found resin. What have I found? I forget what this is. Graphite! So we can make pencils now. Wonderful. To write down our journal of how we died on this planet all alone because we couldn't find any resin. I'm also, once again, out of compound, but that's okay because we know where there's some more compound. I can make more tethers and resume the search for resin that isn't buried in the side of a freaking mountain. So, about a little 15-minute jaunt around, I made my way up around that hill to discover that that hill is surrounded by a death-defying canyon on 3 sides. Nearly fell in twice. And then the mountain over there, no, not the mountain, but the small mountain. I just patiently dug through it, and there was actually a nice bit of resin just below that was actually in softer soil. So it worked fine, and we can now get our research chamber. That's going to take just a minute. Of course, we can speed up all the things by giving them more power. You can see that immediately started going faster. We're not producing any power right now because it is dark and the solar panel can't do anything. I did pick up a few other things while I was out. Some connectors, or extenders, which I won't really need right now. So we'll just put them on the ground because I don't have a storage unit just yet. I will soon. So this printer is also going to require a platform because things that need power needs platforms. Usually. Some things can sit on the ground on their own. Like I could take this generator, and if I pop it on the ground, it then has its own little ability to power itself. Same with the solar. I just like having them sitting on something. I think they'll look better, but they can sit on their own too. You know, you can have like a little power thing to each platform, but you don't have to. So let's get another large platform here. I don't need the large printer as yet. Do I not have? Well, I'm in the way. Sometimes you have to get out of the way. There we go. So now I can print that. And we still have power coming from our generator. We have plenty of organic to throw in there. It does burn biomass, basically, to make its power. And we can make more of those. In fact, I think I do want to go ahead and make just one more small generator. I think it'd be handy to have a second one now and then for when we're not really producing much power. And then what else can we make? We can make a small printer, don't need it at the moment. For the bundle we know. Oxygen filters, they're kind of useless. A canister is a very good thing to have. Occasionally when you go exploring, especially in caves, you will find areas that are not the most accessible, but you need to get in them anyway. What do? Well, you can use your canister, and I will show you in just a moment exactly what that does. I'm going to throw that right there for a moment. We're going to unpack our large platform for our research station, and sure, that's a lovely spot for that. And of course, it requires power. You can connect plugs to plugs, and then grab the research station, plop it up there, and then that big giant research object that we got earlier. Remember that thing? Yes. Well, that goes in there. Whoops. When you work the controls properly, that goes in there like that. Now, we're going to need to get our power turned back on, which, you know, I just disconnected it all. And in fact, I do think I do want the solar to be a little bit away from the building. That way it gets the most sun possible. So what we'll do is replace that with the generator. No, you stay there. I want this guy. There we go. So we'll just throw a generator on the side of the building. Maybe. There we go. And then we'll throw another one on this side of the building. I know there's another spot somewhere. Can I have this, please? Thanks. It is rather difficult to walk with things stuck out in front of you. I see some people just throw them because they don't know that you can just turn them on. And then we want to give you some organic. Or that you can just put them onto your backpack, the smaller items. No, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. I don't want to run right now. Turn it off, turn it off. Not yet. Not yet. We want you to save your power. I mean, organic's easy to come by, but I'd rather you wait. I'm also waiting. Yes, there we go. You can see the solar panel is reactive. It will turn to face the sun, and you can see that we are now getting a little bit of power. Once it gives more, little arrows will start flowing from it. But we want to start research. And we want to go to the right side of it. No, that was the right side of it. Well, we want to put that away first. There we go. So, research. You see right now it says it's going to take 10 minutes. Well, what if we have more power? Now keep your eye on that guy over there, how fast it's spinning. Turn it on. It's now spinning a little bit faster. Turn this one on. And it's now spinning even a bit faster again. And that brought it down to 7 minutes, just by giving it a little bit of extra power. So if you're really needing research, which you do at the beginning of the game, it's not a bad idea to burn a little bit of organic to get that research going. Because once you've researched items, there will be more available on the printers for you to make. And of course, this shows you... This just brings up a little console. This shows you all the things you can research. We already know tethers, we already know oxygen filters. But we can get a small oxygen tank, which is nice, because that allows us to maybe go off tethers a little bit longer. Yes, that could be a good thing. Portable oxygenator, which we just saw. Nanocarbon alloy. We can't make alloys yet. That requires something else, but we can make small generators. If we can find copper, we can make solar panels. If we can find glass, copper and glass have to be refined through a smelter from other materials. We can make power cells. We can make batteries, which are very handy to have indeed. And then the extenders, which, there we go. And then all kinds of other things that we can get for our little gun. Not gun, an extractor. We have drills. We have dynamite and fireworks, which, believe me, they do come in handy. And then we can make a small printer, but we don't need it right now. But we have to research all these things, including the rocket ship to help us get off of this planet. So, I said I would show you what the canister does, and I will do that now. But first, to show you what I have to do, I have to put something in the canister. That's right, the canister holds things. This is the big pit that I dug getting compound earlier. I think I've gotten pretty much all of it out, but what I'd like to not have to do is walk around it every single time I want to leave my base. It slows me down. Once we make vehicles, this rough terrain will prove to be difficult. I love that feature about this. You see, it gave me a little icon to indicate that where I'm digging has a resource for me. Beautiful. This game is just so well done. The soundtrack, just the gameplay mechanics and the way it feels and sounds. Oh yes, sounds. The soundtrack is amazing. And all of those auditory and visual cues about what's happening in the game, just fantastic. But with canister, I now have dirt in the canister. So you can see that my little dig icon has now changed to where I can level a surface off, or if I prefer, I can raise the ground up. So let's say that I want to extend the general surface over here of my base. Well, I can do that. I can just grab the level tool, and I can come over here, and I can level, if I wanted to, probably the entire planet to the exact same level as my base. And you can see that any resources that are in my way are getting vacuumed up. I really don't think it's fair to call it a vacuum, but, you know, whatever. Sometimes you have to reset a bit. If you go a little too fast, it'll start, I don't know, like loses its level point or something. And you can just fill in the entire massive hole that you made in the planet so that you don't fall in it like an idiot and break your leg. Because yes, fall damage is a thing in this game. If I were to fall all the way into the bottom of there, I would injure myself, if not properly die. Which means that that canyon that's just over that hill there is currently deadly and inaccessible. But now that I have a canister, and if I get a couple of them, I can carry enough dirt to build myself a ramp right down to the valley floor and find out what wonderful things lie at the bottom. And there usually are some really cool things at the bottom of those massive canyons and valleys. So we'll just fill this little hole in for the most part and then move on. So as my research was finishing up, I found a really cool thing just laying on the ground over there, and I don't know what it is. I can't put it on my backpack, and when I click on it, it has no name. I think it's emitting a sound, but I can't quite tell. My worry is that it's going to get away, whatever it is. So I'm going to make a little spot for it to live here until I figure out what in the world that is. It's just going to stay with that. But it emits light and everything. It's really, really cool looking. Also, in the distance, I spied another source of power. We're going to go grab that, but first I need some tethers. So, bring out the backpack, go to tethers, and there we go. You can see I'm running low on everything but organic. I have lots of plant life on this planet. So, we are going to go over this direction. You may already spy it, but there is some more wreckage just right here in the distance. I already explored that buggy over there. That's where I got those power extenders from earlier. But I thought I saw something spinning on this one. Did I not? Was I mistaken? Oh, no, it is there. So what we have here is a working wind turbine. So beautiful. At night we can make power if there is wind. And there just happens to be some research right here as well. We don't have a ton of research at the moment. Are you not a researchable item underneath you? You're not. My bad. Thought it was. I think my soil extractor is a bit full at this point. So it's time to head back. I'll grab a little bit of compound for the trip back. We researched only about 400 bytes of data. That's what you use here to make new stuff. One of the things I'm going to need to make is probably a soil extractor. I think it's down in this category. Or not a soil extractor, but a soil centrifuge. I don't remember exactly where it is. But it'll allow me to take soil and turn it into other things. Which, since we're having a bit of trouble finding resin on this planet, which is very unusual. Normally, resin and compound are the things you just find more than you could ever imagine using on your starter planet, but for whatever reason this one doesn't have it, so we're just going to have to make it. But it's going to require some aluminum or aluminium for my overseas friends. We'll find it, but that'll all have to be in the next video. Until then, I'm going to go stare at this ball of light and contemplate what could it be. I've literally never seen anything like it in this game ever before, and that's saying something. I've played a lot of this game. And if you want to see me play more, don't worry, I will be uploading more videos from Astroneer. Basically, we're going to do just a little explore of our solar system. We'll go to that planet, and that big planet that's currently passing behind the clouds, which may or may not actually be the moon of this planet. It's probably our moon. And we'll just do a bit of an explore, because they go from easy to hard in their environments and the type of things that are ready to kill you. But until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.